A great day. Wherever you are across the globe. And welcome to the Product AMA. Cool. We got a few folks on the stage. And in the meantime, while we get set up here, you guys can check out the latest post and actually go to Zeta Hub and check out the new revamped interface, which we'll go through today. And get some questions from you. And then following this Twitter Spaces, we're going to run to Discord and do a more focused session and review some of these RFPs that have come in. I think we have 4 apps lined up to present. So that'll be a more focused session. This is just a general product update. We are just waiting on one more contributor to the product group. BBB True. All right, we'll get started in about 20 seconds, guys. All right, cool. All right, who do we have on the stage here? Brandon, Dennis, Joseph, you want to give us a quick mic check?
Testing.
Hey, everyone.
Hey.
Hello. All right, yeah, let's get started. So, purpose of this product AMA is to go through key updates, of course, on the product side, and want to dive into the post that we just pushed and some of the updates in Zeta Hub, and then we can field a few questions. Considering this is pretty fresh news, I'm thinking we can just go through the blog post. So starting from the top here, we're introducing the concept of XP status, which enables users to gain access to rewards and be eligible for all sorts of different opportunities. And this is being branded as the universal loyalty and rewards layer. Maybe let's start there with that concept and the vision for universal loyalty and rewards, and then we can get into the specifics about the closing of the RFP submissions and distributions, which is a key part of this initiative. So, Brandon, Joseph, you want to jump in on that topic?
Sure, I can talk a little bit, and I think Joseph can maybe do a walkthrough of the specific features and what's actually changing in the XP program. But at a high level, the XP program, as Jonathan just mentioned, is aimed at being this universal loyalty system. We're basically imagining that XP serves as this baseline data layer. And as more apps get into the XP program, they can gain exposure to more users, more usage, testing their own products, trying to build traction. But with XP users as kind of this core base of people who are willing to support the ecosystem in a variety of ways. And in return for exploring the apps, using apps, users build this reputation and loyalty status on chain, or based on on-chain activity. And right now that looks like claiming XP for doing activities. So kind of in the longer term, users build this reputation, become basically experts that is represented by their XP data graph on chain across many different web verticals. And then apps, by kind of benefiting from this whole program, growing, gaining traction through XP, building real usage with real users, basically build up the firepower to reward people for their contributions to the ecosystem. And they will leverage the XP data layer as a core component for the rewards. So when a token or a app launches a token, for example, they have this full data graph that they can access to basically kickstart their own communities and grow the community further. At the same time, the ZetaChain user growth pool is fully dedicated to rewarding this ecosystem as well, and kind of bootstrapping growth, making sure users are rewarded accordingly for their contributions. But as apps grow and are able to offer rewards to users, that will appear in the hub interface. And the cycle sort of repeats, where more apps, more rewards attract more builders and more users to XP program. And that will kickstart the next round of apps that are able to find their real user bases, their real usage, whether it's revenue or just transacting users or anything like that. And users who continue to be part of this XP program will kind of cement their loyalty status, again, fully based on on-chain activity, so that apps know kind of like who is eligible for rewards that they're giving out. But I'll stop there.
Very cool. Yeah, it's like a positive feedback loop where users build status and discover and engage with apps, and then apps learn about their user bases and grow in the ways that are important to them. Joseph, anything to add on the high-level concept here, this long-term loyalty and rewards layer, and then we can dive into some of the feature specifics.
No, I think for the general vision, high specification, that's it. Brandon covered it all. It's pretty amazing. I think there's going to be like a lot of new functionalities, features, teams building and using XP in the future. And yeah, for like if anyone goes right now to the hub and they go to the XP page, they're gonna see like there's the entire page now. It's kind of new. We just launched it into production earlier this morning, and people are directly gonna see that there's like 3 main new features or like sections in XP. And the first one is this kind of like personalized dashboard where we are clearly and easily displaying to the users their own status, and that is based on the XP points they have. And they could see on the right that they have this new card that we are building, and the vision here is that we want to move this towards like being an on-chain NFT. And yeah, like users could see their status, they could see what type of tier they fall into, they could see how many points they have, and they could see this like a new feature which is active streak. And we are baking kind of like activity baked into the status. We want your status to be based on like how like your active streak. And in the future, we want to tie, of course, like perks and rewards to the users who've been like constantly active. So this is kind of like the first section for users, like where they could see their status, learn about their next steps, how many points to move towards the next tier. So this is new. And following this section, users could also like see this new entire section, which is like explore rewards. And this is where we're gonna be displaying like the upcoming RFPs, which you're gonna touch on next, and future rewards, so users could directly see like what they are eligible for based on their tiers. And this is something that we decided to do, is we decided to tie the rewards to the user's tiers and activity, because we want to, of course, like rewards the most active and loyal users to XP, and we want to avoid rewarding users who only like joined once and did like a few activities. We prefer like rewards are more directed towards like the constant active and loyal users of XP. So this is gonna be an ongoing effort. So like every right now, like you could see there's like many RFPs submitted, and every, I don't know, like days or weeks there's gonna be something new there. So it's gonna be an ongoing effort. And then of course like this new revamped XP section where like we're displaying the XP task in like better UX, better UI. So yeah, to sum it up, like there's these three new concepts or like sections, which is status, which is rewards, and the XP cards, and all of them are tied together towards like this, like being constantly active, completing activities on XP, and being eligible for like future rewards and perks.
Super cool, and we're gonna demo it in the Discord session following this, so you can actually see it live. And it's live in production right now in Zeta Hub, so you can explore rewards and check out the stuff in that section, which will grow. And I think just digging in on what Joseph said, these rewards, like they could be Zeta airdrops and stuff, and on-chain assets from other projects, NFTs, but also like fun and different stuff. Like we're kicking off with merch giveaway. We can also give out tickets to different events and Web3 meetups around the world. Give away a laptop, like a MacBook. Like we want your ideas, and we want to do different and interesting stuff. So yeah, the first iteration of this is, of course, the 10 million Zeta airdrop pool for XP round 1. There are a couple updates to the program if you are following along on the blog post here. I'm reading one of the comments: please distribute rewards directly. We heard there was some concern around transparency with dApps doing these distributions. Brandon, you want to talk through one of the updates here around token table and custody of Zeta?
Yeah, so a big piece of feedback in kind of working with apps to submit proposals for this RFP program was that many users have expressed this fear of, if the user growth pool is giving these tokens to apps, what is stopping the apps from just taking those tokens and running? So one security precaution we're going to implement is requiring all apps that are working with the RFP program to use token table for distribution. So the sequence will basically be, now that submissions are closed, apps can post their proposals to the community, and some already have. And if you guys hop over to Discord in a bit, you'll be able to talk to some of those apps. But after they gather feedback, we give them feedback and finalize this CSV of distribution to addresses. They will publish that, and that will be what is uploaded to token table. So all of the assets will be basically directly allocated to the users without the apps having custody over them. It'll be the token table contract. So that's how we're trying to make sure it is a secure distribution for users, and that apps can't just take it. And of course, there is a vetting process in the RFP program where we're not letting just every single app or like random person who applied have access to these tokens. There's going to be a review process for every single one. And kind of implicit in that point is apps must post their distributions publicly. So that also adds to the transparency. Community has a chance to request revisions or point out things that are wrong with app models. And that's already happened for a few projects, which is awesome. And kudos to everyone who is taking a look at these and helping make sure they are fair for people.
Yeah, and you'll see the most updated RFP versions from a few different apps in Discord right after this session. So yeah, please share your feedback on these public tweet threads and join the RFP review session. And then on the foundation side at ZetaChain, we do have a hand in making sure that they're meeting the guidelines that we laid out in the announcement a couple weeks ago, and ensuring that these distributions make sense and are fair. Cool. All right. I want to just go through some other key points in the blog post, and then we can field some questions. So, Joseph, you gave a bit of an overview on some of the new indicators and mechanics in the loyalty program. If you're folks listening, if you're following along on the blog post, we're in the XP status and rewards section. So you want to talk through these new features: XP status, active streak, and then update on activities, and what this means for apps and users.
Yeah, sure. So XP status, as I quickly touched on previously, is basically based on your points, how many points you have. And then we currently have 4 different tiers: silver, then rose gold, then black, then green, which each color has a different XP points threshold. And yeah, so like when users get, if you're looking at the blog post, you could see the screenshot, you could see that there's this active bar, lifetime points, active streak, and points to the next level. So why did we design it that way? The idea here, the main idea here is, again, XP is this kind of like loyalty layer. So it only makes sense if the users who are like constantly being rewarded are also the loyal users, active users. And so we directly want to bake into our system a way to identify these active and loyal users. And we prefer that our rewards and perks to be skewed in favor of these like more active and loyal users, instead of distributing something for literally everyone and including users that maybe did one task in their lifetime. We prefer that the same amount is skewed to like these constantly active and loyal users. So this is why you could see here that we start baking this concept of like active. And so for the users who are listening to us, if you're constantly active, you're gonna be always like into this, let's say, group that they're gonna be eligible for like future rewards and perks. And then the active streak is, of course, like how many weeks you have completed the minimum threshold needed to be considered as active. And to know how you could be considered as active, when you're looking at the bar, you could see that there's kind of the fire sign that says 12.5K, and this is 12.5 thousand XP points. So when users complete activities and they claim their XP points per week, the moment they have more than 12.5 thousand XP points, they are considered active for the week and they receive their streak. Of course, the best would be to always complete all XP activities and get the most of the points, but that's kind of like the idea how you could get this streak. And then, yeah, we have the activities update, and this is like we focus on improving the UI, the UX, and we have like some really exciting features like we're currently building for the XP activities. we want to find a way also for the users, like once they complete an activity, to rate it, to leave feedback, to share this feedback with the applications. And we also want to turn the XP activities more into like some kind of like a page for these applications where users could come learn about the activity, but also learn about the product and the like the vision of this product and everything around this app or product. Yeah, Jonathan, is that good? Is there like anything to dive more into it?
I think that's pretty good. And so reading here, ecosystem projects who join the program, quote, they have flexibility to design activities based on features, growth priorities, overall objectives, end quote. So
Yeah.
it sounds like, yeah, we're moving towards a world where there's sort of a free marketplace of opportunities and different requirements. And you talked about like a feedback mechanism where users can talk about their experiences. What's like kind of the long-term direction here?
Yeah, this is good to touch on. Yeah, exactly. So currently, like any application, any team, developers, like they could come, they could create their tasks or their activities. And yeah, we are providing a way for like these teams, developers to come to create an activity to post it on XP. And we really like just like providing them support and helping them towards like integrating their activity. We look on the on-chain smart contracts. We start indexing those like smart contracts in a way for us to verify that this activity was completed on-chain. And this is how users, like we verify that users has actually completed that activity, and we provide them points. And yeah, this is helping a lot of like teams and applications, especially like new ones who wants to launch. They're creating these activities. These activities are being seen by like 1 million users and more. And so they're putting their product, their app in front of these millions of users. Users are testing it. And then, of course, like when a user tests it, if they like it, they're going to come back. They're going to use this application. If not, that also like some good data points for teams. And then we are sharing all this data with these teams for them to like understand how to improve and what they could do. But yeah, basically, we let the teams to decide that type of activity they want, what type of like exactly feature they want to test or they want to users to interact with. And this is turning into like a place where a lot of teams and developers, they're just coming and they're using it as a way to put their application in front of like millions of users.
Nice. Cool. And then if you scroll down in the interface, Explore Rewards section is new, where you can see all of the RFPs that are submitted. There is the merch contest, and we want to, or merch giveaway rather, and we want to include different types of in real life activations and giveaways of different things. In the form there, please share your ideas, however crazy they are. And then I guess lastly here, before we jump to some questions from listeners, is this section, goodbye phases, hello, continuous improvement. So it seems that Zeta Hub is moving towards more continuous reward recognition, sort of like the learn to earn model. I know there are a couple cool features on the docket that we can share soon, but talk about like how you think about rewards disbursement and that overall thinking.
Yeah, sure. So we were basically like sitting down and I think Brandon also talked about it last time about the kind of like pools that we have directed towards the community. And I think like a lot of people and teams, they're doing this like one singular huge airdrop, and then like users of course they have already tested the network, they're eligible for this airdrop, they get it, and like the relationship kind of ends there. And then users, they're not like exposed to the future success of whatever they helped launch, because they get the airdrop for interacting with the product or like L1 or whatever. in the early phases, and then the team goes on launching, and then the users go, like the team and the users go each in their own way. And so we decided that what we want to do is like more focused ongoing rewards, and we want to target these rewards towards like the most active and loyal users who are constantly helping teams and the project move forward and succeed. And so instead of doing this like one singular airdrop where everyone, just like part ways, we were asking ourselves like, how can we identify the most active, the most loyal users, and have like the future rewards and perks be targeted towards them. And if we lose users along the way, it's okay, because like they're not aligned with the success of the project. And yeah, if we, instead of like rewarding each user a small amount, if our loyal and active users now are rewarded a bigger amount, that's also like what we want. And so that's what we decided. We decided that the rewards and perks, they're gonna be some kind of like an ongoing thing. Every while we're gonna use the pool that we have, the pool of tokens that we have that is dedicated to the community. So we're gonna be tapping into this every while to reward the users, to reward who are constantly active and like keep interacting with the systems. And also we are like always like, of course, talking with the teams, and also like motivating them to reward like the users who are constantly active, to do this kind of like retroactive rewarding for the ongoing success of like these teams and this project for the users. So that's kind of like the idea that we are implementing and testing right now.
Very cool. And that helps build up the XP layer and different data points to inform the ecosystem pool, like how the ZetaChain Foundation supports different applications and what users care about. So supply and demand. Brandon, any last minute thoughts? Otherwise, we'll bring on some speakers.
No, yeah, I think what Joseph just mentioned about trying to build a system that aligns users with apps with the entire ecosystem is what XP is aimed at becoming, and continuous rewards is first step towards that.
Cool. Inviting a few speakers on. So anyone can jump in first. Maybe Barrister Adam. You have a question about product, Zeta Hub, the XP program. Go for it. If not, Bay Nias, you can jump in, sir. All right, I'll invite some more speakers. I think people just like to be on the stage, which is cool. Bringing up King Khaled and Ayabami. Try to make sure you guys are in a quiet place so everyone can hear your question. And please request to be speaker only if you have a question, guys and girls. All right, Sniper and Helsinki. You guys are on the stage. Go ahead, ask your question. Yeah, Joseph, Brandon, Dennis, if there are any good questions in the tweet thread here of the spaces, feel free to call that out.
Yeah, there's one I'm looking at. Are there any plans for new collaborations from Amatal? Like I'm not sure which specific type of collaborations, but yeah, we are currently like working with new teams to collaborate with them on launching more activities on XP. And if the question is more like towards collaboration, who could work with us? Literally anyone who's building in the ecosystem, like if anyone here listening, also you guys are building your own apps and products, we are like most happy to help you, to take a look. And if you want to be featured on XP, that's also like super feasible.
Yeah, and ideally, we're always raising the bar of quality of these apps, and the whole goal of ZetaChain is to build universal apps that interact with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance, eventually the whole Cosmos ecosystem, Solana, any important network. And we want to showcase that and um, create new opportunities for people across chains. So those types of use cases we want to introduce to the XP activities over time. Dennis, go for it.
Yeah, I see a question on Discord. People are excited about ZetaChain hoodies, and they're asking if it's kind of geographically limited. Like, can we send hoodies to any country essentially?
Yeah, so we'll just have to follow as a US project. I think it's the OFAC requirement. So not every country in the world, and there might be some shipping limitations, but we're going to do our best. And one of the contributors on operations is looking at vendors for that right now. So we want to be able to scale that up for sure.
Okay, that's good news.
I see a question. Are there plans to develop the ability to work in other networks besides ETH, BNB, BTC, for example, ARB, OP, and others? The answer is yes. The protocol team and contributors are already looking into a number of chains. So if you look on the GitHub repository for the node, you can see team exploring IBC, I think also Solana, other EVMs. So the node repo is the kind of source of truth for that. But in short, definitely ZetaChain is not bound to ETH, BNB, Bitcoin. And that is a key focus for the protocol team.
I see some statements about direct distribution of apps and concern about the transparency there. And just want to reiterate that token table is a requirement now. So all of that will be transparent. And please do join the RFP review session. We're going to hear presentations of these distributions from apps themselves. And we're quite involved in these iterations. And also to mention that there are other parts of the user growth pool that will be used for direct distribution to users. And we plan to do more wallet campaigns. Some more requests to be speaker. Let's try this again. Alamide, you're on the stage. Saul Wrights, you are on the stage. Let me bring on one more. Sultan FF Lingo, you are on the stage. Feel free to jump in, guys, if you have a question. Yeah, I saw you raise your hand. Saul Wrights, go for it.
All right, Jam, everyone, Jam ZetaChain. Right.
Yeah.
So I have a question. I wasn't able to ask my question in the previous uh space. So what I want to ask is, the snapshot for the Zeta airdrop minute is over 200 200 200 SP points, right? So I want to know clarification on that. Is it mainly on chain transaction volume, or once you have you transacted up to 200 SP, you get the airdrop, you are eligible for airdrop, or the criteria is on volume? I want to know that. If you can answer that, I will be so much glad. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for your question. I can answer that. So the May 1 snapshot, the baseline we set for the RFP program is 200K XP points. So any app distributing through the RFP needs to reward the majority of their rewards to that set of users. They can select a smaller set from those users who have over 200K XP. But in short, the rewards need to go to that cohort of people. Apps will design their own criteria on top of this baseline. So some apps you might have seen, for example, Eddie, who will talk in Discord, already posted their initial RFP publicly, and theirs is focused on volume. But the XP itself is all based on on-chain activity. So if you go into Zeta Hub right now, all of the tasks that you can complete for XP are basically you need to accomplish some on-chain task for an app.
All right. Thank you very much. Can I just make some contribution, please? I think in the future, I don't know, it's better for ZetaChain to job the users rather than depending on the apps deployed on ZetaChain to distribute reward, because there will be transparency if ZetaChain did it themselves like they did on the testnet. Thank you very much for giving me the mic.
Thank you. And yeah, your feedback is heard. This RFP program is the first major distribution from the XP program, or for the XP program from the user growth pool. But of course, it's the first attempt at doing something that's fair for the ecosystem. So we'll go back to designing what makes the most sense to reward users fairly moving forward after this.
Thank you. Saul writes, bringing up a couple more speakers. Christmas, I think you're back from last time. I could be mistaken. Christmas and Havertz. You're live on Zeta Radio. Go for it.
Hello, I'm audible.
Hey, good morning. I feel like I remember your name from last time.
Yeah. Thank you very much for bringing me up. All
Yeah.
right.
What's
My
up?
question is, I'm good. How are you doing?
We're good. Excited about the release today, and yeah, what's up?
All right. I have a question for you guys. Can I ask my question?
Yeah, of course, go for it.
All right. My question is, what role do smart contracts play in omni-chain apps, and how are they executed across different chains?
Nice technology question. Maybe good for our head of DevX, Dennis.
Absolutely. Thanks for the question. So the way it works is with ZetaChain, you need only one contract to deploy, right? So you write your application as a single contract, deploy it on ZetaChain, and that becomes a universal contract because it can be called by users from any connected chain. So even though you deploy your contract on ZetaChain, a user on Ethereum can interact with this contract, can send tokens to it, and the contract in turn can withdraw assets to any connected chains. So this is what's currently on mainnet right now, and it enables developers to build applications that facilitate transfer of value through fungible token swaps and transfers. Right? You can have a dApp that accepts input from Bitcoin and produces an output on Ethereum in USDC, for example, all in native tokens. So that's what's possible right now. Of course, you can also mint NFTs on ZetaChain in response to token transfers from Ethereum, BNB, Bitcoin. In the future, upgrades will be extending this functionality and making it possible for developers to also build applications on ZetaChain that can call contracts on connected chains. So you would be able to put BTC into a universal app on ZetaChain that will then perform a swap on Ethereum on your behalf. So this will exponentially extend the functionality that the protocol offers. So yeah, super excited about that. If you're interested in how it's built or how to develop applications on ZetaChain, join us on weekly dev office hours. You can find a link in Discord. But yeah, thanks for the question.
All right. Thank you very much for your answers. I do appreciate. Wish you guys success in your project.
Thank you, Christmas. And I did send you a DM from ZetaChain Official on Twitter. So check that out when you have a chance.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man. So yeah, and DevX office hours are third Tuesday of every month, and recordings are on YouTube. Last session was actually super cool. Really good tech discussion. All right. I think we're going to close it there so we can jump over to Discord. We're going to do an RFP review session for this XP airdrop round 1. We have 3 or 4 projects that will present, and we're going to give feedback in real time. If you have other feedback, you can use the XP feedback channel in Discord. That's new. And then, yeah, we'll do another product AMA next month, the first Tuesday of every month. So we'll see you again here in August. And again, jump into Discord now. We're going to set up the first RFP review session and do that every 2 weeks. Cool. Thanks to the speakers, and see you in Discord, everyone.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.